Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. As you can tell by the title, today we're going to be doing a sort of a scouting report on Derik Queen. He's been one of the prospects, one of the freshmen climbing up draft boards a lot this year. He's coming from Montverde. He played with, Cooper, Rob Wright, Asa Newell, Liam McNeely on that stacked Montverde team. Committed to Maryland. I think he is the highest commit in their the history. He might be. If not, he's close. But he's been going crazy. He's been going crazy since the year started. I think his last 5 games, he's averaging 20 points. But for the season, he's averaging 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2.4 assists. He's shooting 78% from the free throw line, 65 true shooting. Some really good numbers from him as well. We'll dive deeper into some of those as the video goes on. But he's been amazing. Right now, I did drop a big board. It's my Twitter. I have him in my top 10, basically. I think right now he could be even closer to 5. I've seen a lot of that as well because of his production as a freshman and all the things you like in his game, which we'll talk about later. Q, what's your thoughts on Derik Queen? Whether you have him right now on a hypothetical big board, and how high do you think he can go?
As of right now, he probably hover around that. He could probably hover around like 7 to 12. He's a very good scorer. Obviously not a great defender, but I like the scoring bag. When you get to the NBA, you're able to cover up things like defense. Like we see it all the time, especially with like skill bigs like that. Like Cat, for example, that type of play style. He cool. I'm good with scorers. I don't really harp too much on defense. Defense is important, but like I said, we could get there. We got you could mask that. I think he has a very good skill set. I think he could be productive in the league. If he keeps on going, he could find his way into a top 5, maybe top 7 as a draft pick. The top 3 the top 2 for me is locked. After that is just whoever shows out the most, towards the end of the year, like Casper's. Like I think Derek can move up, things like that. It's pretty interchangeable right there. It's probably what you're looking for, especially depending on the draft order. You have brought up the Chicago Bulls. I think that's a good spot for him. Good scoring, big. Don't really need defense. They're just looking for talent. I think he's one of the most talented players at the top of the board, at the top of the class right now, just based on what he's doing.
Yeah, and what stands out, we're gonna get into the film. We have a little film on his passing, which is one of his biggest strengths in his game. You saw that in high school at Montverde. He was running a lot of offense for them. He was a point guard in some plays. Hasn't been on display as much at Maryland yet, but he's a gifted passer. His coordination, his fluidity, his quickness for his size on offense is really, really good. He's a very, very skilled big. His touch looks really good as right now. He's been able to knock down mid-range shots. He's been able to score at the rim at a really efficient rate. I think right now he's shooting 80% at the rim. He also is not a very good athlete at all, but he's 17 for 18 on dunks right now. So he is finishing dunks on a high level. A good amount of dunks in the first 8 or 9 games as well. Right now he's shooting 9 for 26 in the midi. I think he's a really, really skilled offensive player. The question for me for Derik Queen is this offense going to be good enough to warrant the defensive concerns, warrant the team building concerns? Because it's very hard to build around a 4 or a 5, like we see with like someone like Sengun or like Simbonis that can't defend the rim at a really high level, also can't shoot at a really high level. And I do think Derik Queen is showing some promises as a shooter, especially in the mid range. Right now, he is 2 for 15 from 3. He missed his first 11. But it's really hard. It gets kind of hard to build around a center like that, who is not going to be an anchor on defense. So his offense has to be really good. Right now, his offense is elite. He's been one of the best freshmen in the country. I think at least top 3, probably after Dylan Harper. But he also needs to play hard in competition, which he just played number 8 Purdue, which we're gonna show that here. He needs to play hard. But the question is, can his offense mitigate the defense concerns? Because if it can, then he can be a really high draft pick and a really good player in the NBA.
The way you have to build around him is how, like literally how the Rockets built around Sengun, how the Knicks, like the interest, like they didn't build around Cat, but they put Cat in that situation. Obviously, he's not a good defender at all, but you got a bunch of switchable wings around him, so that could lessen the amount of times where he has to really defend the wing because they're getting stops, on the perimeter. The Kings have yet to figure that out, or like how to do it. But same, like I said, the Rockets and the Knicks, those type of teams, like the way they built those teams, switchable wings 1 through 4, that's pretty much how you would be able to mask him. But his offense has to, warrant you thinking that you could build around him in the first place. I think he could get there. I'm not saying he's like Caterson going or anything, but like that. But he's definitely skilled. Just got to see if it translates. Like you said, got to play tougher competition. We will see that eventually as the season progresses. We about to show it right now.
Also, I think those type of wings and those type of players are really, really hard to find, and that's why it makes it so hard to build around a player like Derik Queen. But we're gonna see throughout the year if his offense is good enough. We'll see it in the league to actually have him as a offensive hub in the league. But let's get into this film. I'm gonna try to add it to the stage. So the first part of this is going to be focusing on his fluidity. He is very, very good in the post. You're gonna see right here, he catches this, faces up. He surveys. He always has his eyes on the floor, and then he's gonna just beat the center to the spot. And he got a goaltend, but they counted that. So we go watch that again. He faces up. Really, really good footwork. Really good job into the rim. Really good using his body. Puts his elbow into his chest and able to create advantage that way. So he's really good at creating advantages in the post for sure, and gets the bucket. Now these next couple plays, it just shows off his footwork. Like these are insane. This is something you really can't teach. Like 6'10", 250 with this level of fluidity, footwork, skill is very special. Like that's a great bucket. Not cute. This one was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the.
He was in the Duffy.
Yeah,
like
he was.
You don't see that a lot too much, but I'm not saying those are like that's natural. Like I mean, you could teach footwork, but some things just come together in the way it just flows. He knows how to get get to the basket. He knows how to get the shot that he wants. Obviously, he has good touch, so that allows you to get those rolls and those favorable looks on the rim.
Mind you, he starts his play on a perimeter, a little hang dribble, attacks the defender's top foot, pivots, bro. That's crazy, bro. I gotta replay it again because right now the defender probably thinks he's gonna try to go over his his left shoulder into a hook shot. He spins off the bro. That's crazy footwork right there.
The thing is, if you have a plethora of moves down there and things, different ways to get to the basket, you always keep it fresh. So the defender will never get too comfortable with what you're doing. So you're never gonna see probably 2 hook shots in a row. You're always gonna see a different look, and he's probably pretty much efficient at everything that he's doing down there.
No, he has a multitude of counters right now as well. So that's really bodes well. This shit's showing off his touch from mid range and on those hooks. Now, another one of Queen's biggest part of this game is his driving. The fact that he's a 6'10" center and can put the ball on the floor, can beat defenders off the dribble on the perimeter is makes him special on offense. Right here, this is one of the best plays I've seen from a freshman this year. He catches the ball. I think the defender overhelped a little bit right here, but then he takes advantage of him overhelping and puts him in jail. This is something you see from a guard. You see stuff like this from a guard. He puts him in jail, and then he goes back and he just soars to the rim for a dunk. And I think he's not a great athlete at all. Like he's not a great vertical athlete, but his balance and his body control is really good. So a lot of these players are going to be showing his drives. Here he gets
very good contact balance.
No, for sure. Yeah, he does. It's going to show on this play right here, I think. Facing up, being to the spot, and one. Really good finishing around the basket. He's really good. So right here on this play, he's surveying. He spins into help. The help comes. He spins out. He spins away from the help. Draws a foul. Didn't finish it, but that's a good play. Okay, on this game, or this play, I should say, this game he had his 3-point shot going. I think he shot like 2 for 5 from 3 or something like that. So this is after he hit the 2 threes. This defender recognizes he hit 2 threes, and he catches the ball in the pop. He up fakes into another dunk. So his driving ability is one of the best part of his game. He's a 6'10" center. I don't think you can say that about a lot of 6'10" centers. Like, let's count how many centers in the league right now could we say driving is one of the best parts of that game? It's probably Sengun, Jokic. Cat has been a really good driver this year. It's not that many. It's not that many
Nah,
players.
that's probably about it.
And then also, what else can I say about his driving? It just like NBA spacing is going to help him so much. He's on the team right now in Maryland, who is honestly not that talented. And he's been a really good contributor, but like NBA spacing is going to be to help his game so much. I think these next few clips are going to be his mid range and 3-point shooting. We'll talk about the 3-point shooting, but his mid range shooting has looked really, really good. His touch has looked really, really good. I think he's shooting 9 for 26 right now in mid ranges. The percentage is not right there, but the jump shot looks normal.
Yeah,
it looks natural, it's fluid. Like
the
catches
form will make you a believer
for sure. Catches it. He's in the post. He faces up. Catches it. They loading up a little bit right here. This Andrew Reese brother right here. Catches it. Easy mid range. I don't know why the clip was so short, but yeah, that's another mid range. He's really good at that mid range area. So now he started hitting threes in this game. That's what got me excited, and it's what kind of prompted this video. He had 26 and 12 versus Purdue, and the biggest thing was his 3-point shot. He was 0 for 11 on his first 11 threes, and then in this game he went around, I think, like 2 for 5 or something like that, or 2 for 4 or something like that. This is one of his swing skills. If he's able to do this, he's going to find a spot in the league. He's going to be a very good player in the league. If you can be a great passer, able to put the ball on the ground, play in the post, and knock down threes, you're going to be a very, very good offensive big, in my opinion. So if he continues to knock this down at a respectable rate, it's going to get dark, man. And
like you said, NBA spacing is going to do wonders for his game. He's already in the college game right now. You could say he's, pretty skilled, pretty kind of polished, but in the NBA, it's going to be a lot different. 6 and 10, he could put the ball on the floor. He could shoot with that spacing. If it makes you a believer, off a pump fake, he could do whatever he wants, especially in the mid range. Because now, once he get into the mid range, he has a plethora of moves, and it's probably going to be a mismatch no matter what, because he could do anything he want down there. As long as the touch is there, he has a good feel. He's going to be very productive.
That's a good point too, because right, like if he's able to knock this down, he can obviously pick and roll, but he can get in a short roll right here. He can pick and pop into it. That makes him a much more dangerous player, and that makes the offense that he's featured in much more dangerous. If this is real and he can pick and pop like this, and this shot was open, but late contest, and he still knocks it down. I think, and then these plays right here are going to be his passing. Like I said, you watch his Montverde film, and you watch his AAU film. He is a really talented passer. It didn't show in these 2 games, Ohio State versus Purdue. It has showed a little bit in other games. Right here, he gets in the pick and roll. Dude falls down. He's forced to help, and he hits the strong corner. I think he's a really smart player, really instinctual player, knows how to read the floor really well. He could have probably shot this mid-range shot, but he's unselfish. His teammate doesn't knock it down, and then on this play, he gets into the post. He's surveying. He always surveying, and then he gets a skip pass. I do think the pass could have been a little bit crisper.
Kind of high.
Yeah, but you can't really expect that from us. I mean, you can. I mean, like he's not Jokic. Like he's not gonna every pass. He gonna work on it. Basically, what I'm saying. Like you can't.
Eventually, it'll get cleaner. Like it'll just get cleaner.
Maybe an NBA defense gets his pass, but just the recognition to find open man out the post is what we like to see. Like what scouting these players is not necessarily the execution all the time. It's more about the process.
Exactly, it's the idea and what he was trying to do. Especially once he gets to that mid range area, whether it be deep, high up top, he could do a lot. Again, great skill set. Like you said, he's spinning into the defenders and things like that. He could always find somebody in the corner. Eventually, if he starts going off, he's going to attract the double, track somebody else off a weak side, and boom, he's always going to be able to hit somebody. He's going to get the ball up. He's not, selfish by any means. He can pass the ball. We've seen that many a time before. As long as he's making the right reads, he's going to be able to be very productive. No,
for sure. And then in a lot of these games he's played so far, his gravity as a scorer has been able to just create open looks for his teammates as well. Especially he's going to be that dominant of a post scorer. We got to see, though, because I think Jokic is like 7 feet. He's only like 6'10". Let me stop the Jokic comparison. Let me stop saying that. But Sengun is also around like 6'11", 7 feet. So I'm just talking about players that, kind of fit his archetype in the league right now because it's very rare. Okay, so Obviously, everything is not positive. He is 6'10". He's not in the greatest shape. He doesn't have the strongest, body type. Not the biggest player. So his defensive concerns are a real question about his viability long term in the NBA and especially in the playoffs. He has issues with his posture. He has issues being an anchor, just protecting the rim. His athleticism really kind of holds him back in that regard. I do think he's a smart defender. But we also see sometimes because of how well he plays on offense. But this play right here is beginning of the game. He just loses focus while he's defending. Like you'll see right here. I think this guy's going to cut, and he just doesn't recognize it. Either doesn't recognize it or just was too lazy to go guard it. Yeah, so he back cuts. Don't know if he sees it. He's pointing out to somebody, but then this recognition, you kind of got to see this as a backline defender, as a center. This is a play we kind of want to see him at least put some effort into.
Yeah, because you got somebody else can rotate over if you leave it. You may think you stick it to your man, but your main job is to protect the rim. Somebody could slide over there and hopefully get a leak and test. That's not really your job to just, stand out there. You're really supposed to be, at least a couple feet away from the rim, so you allow some type of deterrence.
Also, I think he has defended pretty well on the perimeter when he got switched on the players. I think in that game against Marquette, he was guarding Cam Jones very well on the perimeter and some other guards on the perimeter very well. We want to see a little bit more of this, him guarding the perimeter, because that makes it better if he want to be, play the four potentially. If he's able to play the four and guard on the perimeter, that'll be a boost for his defensive profile. But on this play, he lets the guard beat him, get to the rim. Now, I would say they were blowing Ohio State out badly. So I understand if the effort was a little bit low at this point in the game, 68 to 34 with 10 minutes left. So I'm not going to, tax him too much for this type of play. But this type of stuff does show up on film a little bit. Okay. One of my biggest concerns with him, Q, is dealing with stronger players, faster players, more athletic players. This guy who's guarded from Purdue was cooking. I think, especially to end the game, they were kind of hunting Queen a little bit, making him work on defense because we know how talented he is offense. So offenses can make him work on that end to mitigate that, kind of like they do with Sengun and Jokic, and other players and Sabonis and stuff like that to mitigate their offensive prowess. And he was very effective. He got low to the ground, drove the basketball, got his elbow into Queen's chest a few times, and was able to just overpower him on multiple occasions. And on this play, again, this is another thing. Queen's posture is really bad. His foot speed is really bad as well. So if he's not in the right position from the beginning, it's going to be a bucket most of the time. Right here, another recognition thing. Doesn't slide over fast enough. And this player missed a dunk, which he also didn't contest. But that's a negative defense rep, even though he missed a shot. So that's the type of stuff we see from Derik Queen right now. It's more right here again. The posture terrible. Not very engaged. He gets beat towards the baseline, and he's able to finish over him. So this is kind of stuff you want to see like improve with his defensive game over the course of conference play, because they are in the Big Ten. That's a really good conference. You want to see they have some good bigs too. You want to see improve. Right here, he gets back down again into the paint, gets out of position, and he's able to finish. Oh, that was a great move from Dude. He got him up in the air. Really good footwork. Now I don't know how much he's gonna be able to. He's gonna have to guard players like this in the NBA because we don't really see players posting up too much anymore. But in the pick and roll, I don't think he's the greatest defender at all. So this is definitely a point of interest for Queen. This dude was cooking. I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the game for sure. All right, but Queen does have stuff you like defensively. With players like Jokic and Sengun and unathletic players, like even with someone like Draymond, who is not like unathletic, but like a smaller defender, their hands are a very important part of their defense. And Queen's hands so far has been elite. I have this is like 30 seconds of his hands poking balls loose in 2 games, and it's been really apparent watching him play. Let me see if I can get this a better look at this. So this is him defending. It was in drop at first, but he came up to the level a little bit. The center is slipping, they didn't help, and the guard is looking to pass us here, but then he exposes the ball too much. Queen has his arms outstretched, and he's able to poke it. You want to see a few plays like this? I think he draws a foul on this play. Yeah, he did.
Active hands is always important when you're a big, especially if you're a big that's not going to be running around, jumping around, contesting shots like that. It allows you to have opportunities when people do go up and when they do make their move. You're smart enough. Hands is good enough. You'll be able to mess some things up, mess up their form, things like that. Poke the ball loose, like you said. That's a good form of defense. At least it shows that you try a little bit. At least there's something positive. He's not a complete, utter negative on defense. He could do some things. He just got to get better at it. You would want him to do other things, but that's going to come along. Hopefully.
Yep. Right here, he gets I think this might be a pass. I don't know what he was doing, but McQueen uses his hands, creates another turnover. I think his steal rate is pretty decent. His block rate is pretty decent right now. So right here, he steals the ball again, uses his hands, and able to finish the layup. And this is a pivotal point in the game too. Right here, this wasn't like a steal, but his hand-eye coordination on defense is really good. He's able to track this ball. This is one of the stops he got on him, and able to like almost do a second jump and use his hands to get a block. This is another play. He's in help right here. He's still standing up. Posture not the greatest, but he kind of like just gives a little bit of effort, gets a steal, and creates a turnover. So that's it for the Derik Queen film so far. He has been having an amazing season. Things we're looking for to improve, obviously, his awareness on defense. If he's going to be able to guard in the perimeter, I don't think Queen is going to ever be an anchor. And building around a play like that is pretty difficult. But again, we got to see if the offense is good enough to warrant that. So that's what we're looking for. Is there any improvement points you're looking for, Q, outside of the 3-point shot?
Confidence in it. I want to see that midi number go up. Because if you're not going to be the greatest 3-point shooter, at least be able to hit that deep mid range that allows defenders to at least have to step out a little bit further instead of weighing down around the rim, around the paint for him. Even though he's still excellent down there. Defense, I want him to be at least passable or respectable. However that may come, whether it be him being, I don't know if it's just the athletic profile, just him just like not being super engaged because he's most scorers, they're usually not the greatest on defense because they worry about scoring, but he's gonna have to at least be passable on that side of the ball for him to warrant staying on the court, especially if you're gonna be an offensive guy. You're gonna need those those reps. People are gonna kill you. If you could kill him back, that's cool, but you're not gonna get a whole lot of play time. As long as you can show flashes a little bit here and there, you're gonna be pretty cool. Get some steals here, get a block here or there. You allow yourself to get out and transition, do other things. Just things coaches want to see that warrant them picking him as high as I think he probably can get picked.
Do you have a pro comparison? I've seen people say like Nas Reed, obviously not the shooting, but like the body type, the fluidity as a ball handler. Because I honestly do think he's a little bit more fluid than Jokic and Sengun. With his ability to put the ball on the floor and be very, 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 very nimble. It's like Nas Reed-esque as far as his nimble.
Yeah, Nas Reed, that's a pretty. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's a very good comp. I don't think he's not the shooter of Nas, but everything else is pretty cool. Nas not the greatest defender, but he could do some things. He got active hands.
Yeah, for me, I think my comp for him is Sengun. I think he's like a smaller Sengun with the passing, the post scoring ability. Sengun is pretty. He can put the ball on the floor, and he's pretty fluid as well. And Sengun has become a better defender this year with Ime Udoka. Has been a better rim protector this year with Ime Udoka. So honestly, again, I have Queen in my top 10. I can't deny talent. He's a very talented player. It's all about what team he lands on, how they build around him, what type of players they surround him with. Which is going to be determine how good he is, along with the jump shot, the defense, all that type of stuff. So looking forward to seeing a lot from him. We're going to be doing a lot more of these with players. I want to talk about Kasparis, Ager, We're gonna talk about Flag too. I mean, everybody know about Flag, so we might leave him to like last. We're gonna talk about Boogie, Trey Johnson. A lot of players in this class. It's a really exciting class, much better than last year. But that's gonna do it for this is our first kind of like film review of the draft cycle. We're gonna be releasing the big board here in like a week or so stay tuned for that. Gonna try to like do a whole video for that as well. So if you're rocking with us, make sure you follow us on our social media accounts up at the top. Subscribe to the video and like the video as well. Share it with your friends. We're gonna be out, man.